the new MacBook Pro comes with 2 or 4 external ports, depending on the model you pick. But those ports are only of one type, Thunderbolt 3, which is compatible with USB-C, but you probably have devices that use USB-A, Thunderbolt 1, Thunderbolt 2, DisplayPort, HDMI, or something else. How do you connect these devices? With an adapter. If you're planning to buy a new MacBook Pro, make sure you set aside a considerable amount of cash for the adapters you need. Apple doesn't include any in the box, except for a power adapter. Your best bet is to get a combination dock, like this Hitachi Slim Aluminum Typic Multiport Adapter, $60 on Amazon. It connects to the MacBook Pro via USB-C, and includes a USB-C pass-through port, 2 USB 3.0 ports, and an HDMI port with 4K 30Hz support. With this, you don't have to carry around multiple adapters. If you don't want a dock, or you can't find a dock with the mix of connections you need, Apple or another company probably has an adapter for you. We've come up with this guide to help you sort out what you need, and we link to the appropriate adapter in the Apple Store or on Amazon. You can also use the quick link list below to jump to the info you need. How to connect. Be sure to check the return policies. Sometimes adapters from third parties don't work. Read user reviews whenever possible, and read the specifications to make sure the adapter can do what you need it to do. If there's a connection we missed, or you have advice on what adapters to buy, let us know on Twitter or Facebook. How to connect USB-C devices. Thunderbolt 3 ports in the MacBook Pro work with USB-C devices, which have the same connector shape. So if you want to use a USB-C device, you can just plug it into one of the Thunderbolt 3 ports. No adapter necessary. Phew. Back to how to connect USB-A devices. USB is the USB connector with which you're probably most familiar. It's the USB connector that was on the previous MacBooks, and it's the connector that comes on your iOS device's sync cable in the box. Terms like USB 3 and USB 2 refer to the speed at which data travels through the connector. Apple USB-C to USB adapter. This problem first came up when Apple released the 12-inch MacBook, which has a single USB-C port. You can get a dock, like the before-mentioned Hitachi, or you can get Apple's $19 USB-C to USB adapter. If you need to connect multiple USB-A devices, get a USB-C to USB-A hub. Anker sells a USB-C to 4-port USB 3.0 hub, $18 on Amazon, that provides 4 USB-A ports. Back to how to connect micro USB devices. Devices like iPhone battery cases and some external hard drives use micro USB ports. To connect to the MacBook Pro, you can use an adapter like the Aoki USB-C to micro USB adapter, which is available as a 2-pack for $8 on Amazon. Aoki USB-C to micro USB adapter. Back to how to connect micro superspeed USB devices. This connector is often used with external storage devices. You'll need a new cable, like the Belkin USB-C to micro cable USB 3.1, which is $30 in the Apple Store. The name of the Belkin cable is confusing, because it could be mistaken for micro USB-C section just above. But if you check the product page on Belkin's website, you can see a clear shot of the micro B superspeed connector on the cable, which is quite different from micro USB. Also, Belkin sells the cable in black, while the Apple Store version is white. Back to how to connect an iPhone or iPad. If you are still using the USB-A, Lightning or 30-pin, if you're using an older iOS device cable that came with your device, you can get the USB-C to USB adapter mentioned above in the USB-A section. Don't want an adapter? Buy a $25 1-meter USB-C to Lightning cable. A 2-meter version of the cable is available for $35. Back to how to connect the Lightning EarPods. As of this writing, it can't be done. Apple has a Lightning to 3.5mm headphone jack adapter for connecting headphones with a 3.5mm audio plug to the iPhone 7. But what's needed here is a female Lightning to 3.5mm audio plug or USB-C adapter. Right now, that adapter doesn't really exist, which brings up the whole issue of connectivity compatibility in Apple's ecosystem. There are female Lightning to USB-C adapters, like this Coolbee adapter on Amazon, $13, but it only can be used for charging and data transfers and not for audio. Also, if you take a look at The user reviews, these adapters don't seem to be reliable. While you wait for someone to make a reliable adapter that supports audio, you'll have to use another pair of headphones. Back to top, you're in luck. The MacBook Pro comes with a 3.5mm headphone jack. Just plug it in and you're good to go. That was easy. Apple. The MacBook Pro actually has a headphone jack. Really, it does. Now, say you need a second headphone jack. You can use a splitter, like the Belkin speaker and headphone 3.5mm aux audio cable splitter, $5 on Amazon. Or you can use a USB-C to headphone adapter, like this one on Amazon for $8, or you can get the $9 Google USB-C digital to 3.5mm headphone adapter. If you need multiple headphone jacks, the $15 Belkin Rockstar 5 jack multi-headphone audio splitter plugs into the headphone jack and adds 5 jacks. Back to TOF. To connect Thunderbolt 1 and Thunderbolt 2 devices. Older versions of Thunderbolt have a different connector than Thunderbolt 3. There aren't any docks that have an old Thunderbolt to Thunderbolt 3 connection, so you need to buy a separate adapter. The adapter you need is Apple's $49 Thunderbolt 3 USB-C to Thunderbolt 2 adapter. Apple Thunderbolt 3 USB-C to Thunderbolt 2 adapter. At least this adapter is bidirectional. That means you can use it to connect a Thunderbolt 3 device to a Thunderbolt 1 or Thunderbolt 2 port on an older Mac. Back to TOF. To connect an external display. This one can eat up a chunk of your budget because there are so many different types of display connectors. Be prepared to buy several adapters. DisplayPort and Mini DisplayPort. To connect to a DisplayPort display, you need a USB-C to DisplayPort cable or adapter. Amazon sells the pluggable USB-C to DisplayPort adapter cable for $22, and it supports 4K video at 30 Hz. Pluggable USB-C to DisplayPort adapter. To connect a display with Mini DisplayPort, you need an adapter like the AllSmart Life USB-C Type to Mini DisplayPort Mini DP adapter cable, $21 on Amazon. Back to TOF. My Apple offers the USB-C digital AV multiport adapter, a $69 device that also provides a USB-A port and a USB-C port that's for charging only. Apple USB-C digital AV multiport adapter. If you don't want to spend that much, you can get an adapter that's just a USB-C to HDMI adapter, such as Aukey's USB-C to HDMI adapter, $22 on Amazon. We really like the Nanda USB-C to HDMI adapter, $23 on Amazon. When shopping for such adapters, look out for 1080p support. The Nanda adapter has 4K video support. Back to top. Wicanics has a USB-C to DVI adapter, $21 on Amazon. They have other USB-C video adapters, including a VGA adapter, AA HDMI adapter, and a DisplayPort adapter. Back to top. Vigato connect a VGA display. Apple has a USB-C VGA multiport adapter for $69. In addition to a VGA to USB-C connection, it also provides a USB-A port for connecting a USB device, and a USB-C charging port to keep your laptop battery happy. Apple more on the affordable side, but without the USB ports, is the Belkin USB-C to VGA adapter, which is available on Amazon for $33. Back to TOF. To connect the MacBook Pro to Ethernet, you will probably use Wi-Fi most of the time, but using a wired Ethernet connection has its advantages. To connect to an Ethernet network, you need an adapter like the Belkin USB-C to Gigabit Ethernet adapter, which is available on the Apple Store for $35. Belkin USB-C to Gigabit Ethernet adapter. Back to TOF. To connect SD cards. If you use a DSLR or other type of standalone camera, it might have a way to transfer your files wirelessly. If not, you need an adapter to access the SD card, like the SanDisk Extreme Pro SD UHSII card USB-C reader, $50 on the Apple Store. SanDisk Extreme Pro SD UHSII card USB-C reader. If you have a USB-A card reader, you can try using the Apple's $19 USB-C to USB adapter, or get a USB-C dock. Back to TOF. To connect FireWire devices. This one could be a problem. Apple sells a Thunderbolt to FireWire adapter for $29, but it has an older Thunderbolt connector that doesn't plug into the Thunderbolt 3 port on a new MacBook Pro. Apple Thunderbolt to FireWire adapter. You could try daisy chaining adapters, but that's always risky and may not Work. Plug the Thunderbolt to Firewire adapter into Apple's $49 Thunderbolt 3 USB-C to Thunderbolt 2 adapter and then plug that into the MacBook Pro. OWC Thunderbolt 2 dock ports. An alternative and pricey solution is to get a USB dock with Firewire. For example, OWC's Thunderbolt 2 dock $219 on Amazon has a Firewire port, as well as 5 USB 3 ports, Ethernet, HDMI, and more. You will need the Thunderbolt 3 USB-C to Thunderbolt 2 adapter to connect it to the MacBook Pro, so plan on spending an additional $29 at the Apple Store. The company recently announced a $300 Thunderbolt 3 dock with 13 ports, including Firewire 800, back to TOFA to connect a printer with USB-B mini printers. Nowadays have wireless support, so there's no need for a cable. But maybe you have an older printer, or you find wireless printing unreliable. Most consumer printers have a USB-B port. It's a squarish connector, much different from USB-A or USB-C. Belkin. This black Belkin 2.0 USB-C to USB-B printer cable is available on Amazon. The one the Apple Store sells is white. You need a cable like the one in the Apple Store, the $20 Belkin 2.0 USB-C to USB-B printer cable. Belkin sells a black version of the cable on Amazon, pictured for $13. If you already have a USB-C to USB adapter, you can take the USB-A to USB-B cable that came with your printer and plug it into the adapter. Then you plug the adapter into the laptop. Back to TOFA to add a MagSafe power connector to the 13-inch MacBook Pro. The power adapter that comes with the new MacBook Pro plugs into a Thunderbolt 3 port. Sadly, there is no breakaway MagSafe connector. If you've ever had to plug in your MacBook in a coffee shop and had someone trip over the power cable, you know how much of a lifesaver MagSafe can be. But you can add a MagSafe connector to the new 13-inch MacBook Pro. Griffin's BreakSafe magnetic USB-C power cable, $28 on Amazon, is a power-only cable that is used to charge the laptop instead of the cable that comes with the MacBook Pro power adapter. It includes an adapter that acts like a MagSafe connector. Our review of the BreakSafe covers how it works with a 12-inch MacBook, but the breakaway connector should work the same way for the new MacBook Pro. However, Griffin specifically states that the cable works with the 13-inch laptop. The company doesn't say it's compatible with the 15-inch MacBook Pro. That's because the cable is rated at 60 watts, and a 13-inch MacBook Pro has a 61-watt power adapter. The 15-inch MacBook Pro has an 87-watt power adapter that's more wattage than the Griffin cable is designed to handle. There's also the VinPoke MagBolts, $50 MSRP, $35 on Indiegogo. It has a smaller breakaway USB-C connector than the BreakSafe, and the cable does support the 87W charging for the 15-inch MacBook Pro. Back to top. To comment on this article and other Macworld content, visit our Facebook page or our Twitter feed.